Hey, this is Tom AF7J here on the Ham Radio Hobo Show. So today we're going to talk about amateur radio. What is it? Why you should get involved? And for those of you that have been involved in amateur radio, why maybe you've left and why there might be good reason to make a different approach at it. To not put the radio in the closet, but actually get out and use the license that you have. So one of the first things I'd like to talk about is amateur radio. What is it? Amateur radio is a hobby. It's a public service. You get licensed through the FCC. I went and got my license, and I can remember the experience there. It was studying online or going to an in-person class with instruction videos that we watched on a big screen and things of that sort. I already have had an idea of what amateur radio was, being that I lived up in Anchorage, Alaska, and got involved in the Citizens Band radio stuff in Anchorage, Alaska. In fact, I used to have an Antron 99 on my house in Anchorage, Alaska, and used to talk CB to different folks in town, and was always fascinated with radio waves and how they worked. Fast forward to now, it's 2021, almost 2022, and we have VoIP, which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. We have D-Star, DMR, some digital voice stuff that's still FM. All-Star is FM analog into a 70 centimeter or 2 meter simplex connection. Radios have become quite small now. You can put a radio on top of a Raspberry Pi and with some extra Linux driven type software that's called All-Star or Asterix Ham VoIP, you can take that miniature computer that's got a radio with it and then another handheld radio and from the handheld radio talk to the little radio that's on that miniature computer. That's then also connected to the internet. You can talk to other people across the internet through a bunch of radios or computers connected together over the internet. So a lot of people have been doing that because the radio waves or the amateur radio bands haven't been that active. They've become quite more active. And that brings up the other topic, second topic, number 2. Amateur radio and those that have been licensed for a while, obviously they've gotten their general or extra, and they've got a HF radio, and why some of them just don't talk on the radio anymore, or why they don't send QSL cards or anything like that anymore. Well, one of the problems I think happens is even on VoIP is that we become a society of amateur radio operators that just want to check in on net control and talk about the weather, and just be like, hey, I'm here, look at me, and so it's kind of made us all kind of a little bit self-centered or competitive with each other, and of course the hobby can be competitive, and it can be just like I would say combat fishing in Alaska, where your armpit or arms are and fishing poles are getting tangled up and lines are getting tangled up just to go after one big giant fish that's in the river. So I think the problem there is yes, people are going to be rude, they're going to be pushy, everybody's doing the same thing and chasing the same DX as you are, but I believe that we should all be gentlemen, and even though some people are very rude and very impolite, we shouldn't try to cause arguments or feel like we should just leave the hobby because of that. Um, there's a lot of different options in amateur radio and a lot of different places to go to still do amateur radio, but uh, still be using your license. Utilizing your license is the best way to say it. So with amateur radio, I think sometimes people get too impatient, too impersonal. They get they take things too personally when actually sometimes there's like I've always been saying the last couple of days is all about perspective. You know, the glass is either half empty or half full. And some people are they just want to be rude, and they'll say their rude comments and not even give you any feedback or clarification. So that leads to a person coming to an interpretation that well maybe all amateur radio operators are jerks. Maybe they just are rude and impatient and that. And sometimes it's a system like All-Star. All-Star has the ability, if you're not aware, to do full duplex. So what happens there when you do full duplex is it allows a transmission to happen even though the transmission is already going on the VoIP system. So you end up with two people talking at the same time. Where when you don't have full duplex, another station, you just won't be able to transmit until the other station's done. So in that scenario, though, too, is how do you guess when somebody is talking and when they're done talking and when they're going to start talking? I think it's all about the net controllers, how they operate, how they control the net, and then also how the check-inees, or the people that are checking in, the net citizens, whatever you want to call it, whatever acronym or label you want to put for people that check in is fine. What they say and how they say it and the timing. So if I listen for 1, 2, or 3 seconds, like, okay, this is net control, we're ready to take check-ins. Please come with your call sign slowly and phonetically. I do 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Then I say net control, this is, and then is sections for FT8, is a section for voice, is a section for DX contacts on SSB, and there is a section for slow scan TV. They're all suggested and are like a gentleman's agreement on which section of amateur radio bands you want to go into. So most of this information you can find in the amateur radio ARRL amateur radio guide to operating your radio, or amateur radio operations guide. And so I think one of the things about amateur radio is it's always interesting to meet different people, different behaviors, different mannerisms, and to enjoy the hobby. And remember that it's all about having fun and being able to communicate and have a fellowship. And so that's what I enjoy about amateur radio, is it gives me a fellowship. So even though I'm in the truck by myself, I can turn on the radio and there's somebody else that I can talk to, and I don't always have to feel like it's just me and nobody else cares, and go into a depressive state or go into a state of feeling like nobody cares. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you understand that amateur radio sometimes, even though things can be like, oh, these guys are just being bullies and jerks, and I'm just going to throw my radio away or shove it in the closet and walk away, that you're not the only one. And that amateur radio, there's so many different things to do in the hobby, and some people can be really rude, really mean, but I think the thing is to get clarification, because sometimes the way people communicate, they use a lot of negative words when actually they should use more friendly and inviting words. So for anyone that's new, if you come across somebody that's a grumpy old man that says, get off my lawn and don't mess with my antennas, maybe that's not the person you want to be around. Of course, you don't want to be around somebody that's so friendly that they're Bozo the Clown and they want to take you down into the sewer drain like on the movie It. But I think it's important to have a good judgment of character on people. I also think that people need to be more friendly and more inviting. This hobby isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, because it's still a vital part of the amateur radio spectrum and telecommunications spectrum, and the International Amateur Radio Telecommunications Union and ARRL have been established for a long time, for over 100 years now. And so I don't see the amateur radio service or the hobby going away. But I do think that as amateur radio operators that have a license, it's our obligation to promote this in a friendly manner, in an inviting manner, a friendly manner. Excuse me, I got a little bit of allergies there, cold weather. But anyhow, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll try to come out with some more ones, some more YouTube videos. So thanks, and 73, and have a great day, and happy holidays.